Because Jesus is alive, we know that everything that he said is true, and the only correct response to that statement is that we need to follow him. I was raised in a Christian household and, a Christian community, but there were times where if you'd asked me if I was a Christian, I almost always would have said yes, but at the same time, it was more like I didn't know what that meant, and there were certain things where I'm like, I don't know if it's true. I read a book by a scholar named N.T. Wright when my dad got it. It's called Surprised by Hope, and that really answered my question about the resurrection, about the afterlife and all these other things. And I mean, it wasn't a definitive answer, but it was the first time that it actually made sense to me. And that really I kind of built on that, and I started to get a lot of head knowledge about God. There was a lot of head, but there was no heart. So I was reading a book called The Reasons for God by Timothy Keller. Excellent book. He was drawing this contrast between religion and the gospel. And for him, religion was, I am going to do these things to earn God's favor. I'm doing these things to please God. And it's but a person who's living out the gospel says, I'm doing these things out of a genuine love for God because I'm so grateful for what he's done for me. I mean, I was really just hit by kind of the power of the gospel. I'm just as much a sinner as anybody else. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm just as equally saved by God. And there's I had always kind of been stuck on if I could just get these over a couple stumbling blocks that I have, then I'll be good to go. And I was so caught up on these stumbling blocks. That's when I realized, I didn't just have a couple stumbling blocks. I saw the amount of sin that I was in and how much I really needed God in my life to come and take me out of that. I just never really recognized them, and that's when I really realized that I need Jesus. There's nothing I can do to please Jesus because he already did that all for me. It certainly felt like a conversion moment. It's something, I was always a Christian, but I was a Christian, but that was really where it moved into a fuller understanding and a fuller feeling of who God is. Why is Jesus alive, and what does that mean in my life? It means that you should do something. This is life-changing. Jesus, he gave us this whole set of instructions. He's told us to live out his words, and for us to just kind of go, well, okay, God is alive. These are all the reasons why Jesus is alive. But you just literally, all you're doing is talking, and you're not changing the way that you treat others. You're not changing the way that you're living your life. You're not trying to build deep relationships with other people. Then it really doesn't mean anything to you more than a textbook would.